Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Bookmarked by Aaliyah. Welcome if you're new here. I read 7 books in the month of August, 4 physical and 3 on my Kindle. So let's talk about them. I'm so glad that August is in the past and we are starting with a fresh new month, fresh new books, because I'm ready to read the books that I picked for my September TBR. August, like I said on a previous video, August was such a mid-month, y'all, to the point where, like, I literally do not remember half of the books I read. And I didn't even read these books like crazy fast. Like, in the moment, I was into the book so I could tell you everything you need to know about it. But today, I I got my iPad here just so I could reflect on Goodreads, just to remember what half of these books are about. We gonna get into them anyway, but just know these reviews, they're just real mid. I would not say that I would not recommend any of these books. I'm not gonna go that far to say that. I would definitely still recommend these books, but they were just okay for me. They may be 5 stars for you, but let's get into it. So the buddy read that we had, I had the Kingmaker. I never finished this book in that vlog. This was our group like book club pick, The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. This book follows an indigenous girl, and I think he's a white guy, and she grew up on a reservation, and her reservation is being taken over. Like, you know how companies like buy land and they do whatever they want to do to it, in so many words. That's what they did. So it's the destruction of the reservation. So like, it's hard to really like explain the details of that situation without like giving a lot of the book away, but it follows a love story. The son of the CEO or whatever who's in charge of doing all these things is the love interest in this book. Y'all, let's start off by saying one thing. If you've been here long enough, you know what I cannot stand in a book, right? But if you're new here, Aaliyah does not like miscommunication in a story. A little bit we could play with. And if it's addressed early in the story and then we move on and we like do whatever we're going to do for the rest of the book, we're good. But if this miscommunication drags till 60, 70, 80%, you automatically get a 3-star. Like, I'm not even giving, I can't. Like, there's no way I can give you anything higher than that. So this book had way too much miscommunication for me. A lot of the issues, a lot of the problems, a lot of the drama could have been avoided if the miscommunication trope just wasn't in there. And people say, well, you need the miscommunication to keep the story going. No, you could have just gone another route. How about that? Like, so that's how I feel about miscommunication. Some people don't mind it. That is my pet peeve. We all have that one trope that we can't do. How people don't like the accidental pregnancy trope. How people don't like enemies to lovers or grumpy sunshine. Like, everybody has that trope that they don't like, and miscommunication is mine. So this got a 3-star. Hurt my little heart to give my girl Kennedy Ryan a 3-star. Like, her older books, though, I've noticed, just because I've only read one and then this one, I'm thinking all of her older books, because the last one I read, that had miscommunication in it. I don't know if that was like a thing she was doing then or what, but like, you could just really, really tell how much Kennedy Ryan has grown as an author, because this is no real. This could be us. Long shot. This is not that. So it's just different, which is okay. We all grow as people. We all grow in whatever profession we have. I would hope that what we're doing today, we weren't doing 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever, you know, so that's okay. But this story, y'all, and then I spent my time reading this book for you to leave me on a cliffhanger. Like a real cliffhanger, not like, oh, I could just put the book down. Like, you low-key want to know what happened. So I don't know, y'all. I have the Rebel King, don't I? I have the Rebel King. I don't have Queen Move. I am willing to give the second book a try, because the cat's out the bag now. Hopefully there will be no miscommunication in the Rebel King, and word on the street is the Queen Move, the 3rd book in this series, is the best in the series. So it'll be a little bit before I get to it, because if you've been here for a while, you know I don't read my series back to back to back like that. I like to break it up a little bit. So I'm willing to give the second book a try, but this just did not do it for me. Then I have Tia Williams, Audre and Bash Are Just Friends, another one. This honestly was a very cute story. It really was. Audre is the daughter of Eva and Shane from 7 Days in June. So this is her story, her love story. She meets Bash after she hires him to be her fun consultant. She's stuck in her city for the summer when she was supposed to go visit her dad in California, but those plans fell through and she's stuck in New York for the summer. So she hires Bash as her fun consultant to do like all these things. She has this whole list of things she wants to do. There are some deeper issues in here. I think mental health is handled very well in here. It is a really cute story. It was just a little too YA for me, just because YA is not my preferred genre. YA romances aren't my preferred genre, but sometimes they hit. And like I love, what's that book? Love Radio, loved it. Instructions for Dancing, loved it. So sometimes a YA romance can do the trick for me, but this one did too. Let me stop. Like this one did too. It was super cute. And I don't know if it's just because it's Tia Williams that I'm like, I love Tia Williams. So it's like I can't bash I can't bash her. And I don't want to bash her. It's just the story was just too YA for me. Would I highly recommend this book? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is the cutest little thing, but I would have loved this a lot more maybe in my 20s. Or, younger, basically. So, but this is a very, very cute read. Then I have The Missing Half by Ashley Flowers. This is about two sisters that come together because both of their sisters have gone missing. Years apart, but they've gone missing in the exact same way. So there's a connection between the sisters that are left because of how similar, basically how dead on their disappearances went, so they're banding together. But, with that, there's some secrets, there's some stuff that pops out of nowhere. There's a lot going on in this book. And I really enjoyed this book. But like I said, a lot of these books weren't memorable. Like, there are a lot of books that I remember. Like, I remember the details. I remember what she had on. Like, I remember the book where I don't remember like all the details that went into this book. What I do know is that I had a good time reading it. I was invested. I was locked in the moment. But then a week later, it just fell off the face of the earth, y'all. I don't know if it was just a month, if it was a me thing. I don't know, y'all, but I don't remember a lot. But this one is definitely one that I would recommend if you just want something quick. Because look, it's really not long at all. It's super short. And I think I got through this in just like a couple of days. It's just like right over 250 pages. I think it was like 256 what I just looked at. And if you just want something quick, like a palate cleanser in between either like some romance or heavier reads or things like that, I would definitely pick this up and give it a try. I do want to try out more by this author. I'm really not sure what other books she's written. I know, like in real life, like she is a, what is she? She has a podcast. Is it Crime Junkies? I think that's her podcast. And I've actually listened to that podcast a while, like years ago. I listened to it and I had no idea it was the same person. So when I was like reading like the author's note or, whatever they have in the back of the book, I was like, oh wait, that's the same person? So that was kind of a fun fact to find out about this book. Then y'all, my only 5-star read of the month, the only 5-star. And I don't just be giving 5 stars out like candy anyway, but usually I have like some 4.5, some 4s, like everything, y'all, legit was this and maybe one other one I think was a 4-star, but anywho. So Last Summer on State Street. It's a story about the Robert Taylor homes in the 90s in Chicago. Those are housing projects that got torn down. All these people displaced. They were either being like transferred or, moved to like Section 8 housing, or they just had nowhere to go. And like, I live very close to Chicago, for those who haven't been here for a while. And like, I vividly remember this time. I remember it on the news, them tearing down Cabrini Greens and the Robert Taylor homes. Like, I remember these things from the 90s. So it was kind of, I can't say refreshing because it's a terrible story, but it was nostalgic for me to read this book, because it took me back to that time. I can't say that I understand what these people went through, because I didn't go through this, but I remember it very, very clear. So it follows Fifi and 3 of her friends in the projects, and all that goes on during a time like that. The stress people are under. You have drug dealing, you have drug users, you have just the fear of being in these areas alone and things. It was, oh my God, like, and to find out that this is this author's debut novel, this is amazing. Like, the writing in this, poetic, just grabs you, pulls you in from the first page. Like, I was in this book, y'all, and this is a very, very short book. And the crazy thing is, I didn't fly through it. You know what I mean? Like, I took my time with this book, and it was so short, but it's a really good book, y'all. Like, even if you can't relate to being in the Midwest and Chicago and all that kind of stuff, even if you can't relate, this is a very good story, y'all. A very, very good story. It's heartbreaking. It's sad. It's so sad. Like, it's sad, not to the point where you need to cry. I might have teared up a little bit, just because I felt for these girls. I felt for the families. I felt, if you haven't picked this book up, pick this book up. And for those like that are seasonal readers, like, I'm not a big seasonal reader, but there's just certain books that I think would be perfect for summer, or perfect for fall, or perfect for winter. You know what I mean? But I can read a book at any season, but some are just like, nah, I'll wait till summer, you know. But this one, even though the title is Last Summer on State Street, you can read this at any point in the year. And I recommend that you put this on your fall TBRs. Highly, highly recommend. This is a very good book, and this is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. Like, it's that type of book. So for my Kindle reads, I read, what did I read? Oh, I did a vlog, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on Under the Tulip Tree. Can't remember the author, but if you've watched my previous vlog, I went into great detail about that book, but I'll do a little something here. This follows the female main character, because I don't remember her name. This follows the female main character, and this is during the Great Depression, the start of it. The story starts off on the day that the stock market crashed and the Great Depression began, and she's a reporter. So Roosevelt initiated an act for writers and publishers and, you know, reporters and things like that to go out on these different projects to write, because everybody had lost their jobs. So he initiated this for them to go interview, in this story, former slaves. So the female main character is selected to go interview an 101-year-old former slave, Frankie. I remember her name. I just don't remember the female character, the main character's name. So she interviews Frankie, and she gets so much insight on what slavery was really about. You know, she's a young white woman. She has no clue about the mistreatment, the horrors of slavery. She had no clue before interviewing Frankie. So obviously there's some found family in here. She has this bond with Frankie because she's just becoming so close to her. She's like another grandmother to her. Frankie's granddaughter that kind of takes care of her. She bonds with her. And it's a little bit of a love story in there as well, because she, you know, it's like 1930. Like, she can't just go driving around these neighborhoods, you know, alone. So another writer, a male, is kind of taking her to these places. So everybody ends up just having like formed family. Like, it's a beautiful story. It really, really is. And I really enjoyed that book. Like, that was an accidental find. Like, literally was just scrolling on Kindle Unlimited, just looking, you know, looking for books. And I came across that one. I was like, that really sounds like something I can get into. And I really did. Like, I really enjoyed that book. That is definitely one that I highly recommend. I think that's the book that I gave a higher rating to for this month. But that was definitely a good one. And then I read Aphrodite and the Duke, coaxed into reading that by Kayla's Bookish Vibes. I'm not mad at it at all. At all. Y'all, that book, no, that's the book that I gave 4 stars. Aphrodite and the Duke. That's the one I gave 4 stars. I remember now. But Aphrodite and the Duke is your Black Bridgerton. When I read the Davenports, I thought that's what I was going to get from that book, just from the cover, from the premise. Like, everything gave me that, and it didn't. Like, I was kind of disappointed in that book. It was okay, but that's what I thought I was getting. No. Aphrodite and the Duke, the Jubel series, is giving Bridgerton, like, from beginning to end. The only bad part about it giving Bridgerton is that the story was very, very predictable. It's the only reason I couldn't give that book 5 stars, just because it was so predictable. But the entertainment, the scandalous stuff that goes on, the lies, the romance, like the oh my God, the spice, like everything is Bridgerton. If you've never watched Bridgerton, pause this video, go load that up on your Netflix and go watch Bridgerton, and make sure you watch Queen Charlotte, because that's Black Bridgerton too. So y'all, I'm invested. I'm going to get the second and the third book in this series. Honestly, I wish I would have added that to my September TBR, but that book wasn't very long. We might be able to sneak that in anyway, but I am definitely moving on with that series. That was good. So thank you, Kayla, for hustling all your subscribers to read that series. Then last, I read Summer's Echo by Robbie Renee. That is definitely a book, y'all. I don't remember anything, y'all. Let me go refresh my memory real quick. Hold on real quick. I'm going to actually read you my review for this, because honestly, y'all, I really don't remember it. I don't remember it. I put, this was cute. The love between these two dripped from the pages. Echo was so sweet, patient, and truly saw nothing but Summer, and all that she saw was Echo. I love the dual timelines, allowing us to see the evolution of their relationship. This was a true friends to lovers story. I will say that this one was better to read physically as opposed to listening, because the times that I listened, I was so confused as to what point in time we were in. I think it would have made it an easier read if there were more chapters in the story, and those chapters being labeled past, present, as opposed to multiple timelines within the same chapter. I got used to it, but just wasn't a fan. Overall, seamless writing that flowed well and kept me engaged the entire time. So no lies told there. I was engaged when I read that book. I remember reading that book every chance that I got, but y'all, I just really don't remember that book. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I will say that that's the type of book, obviously, that you need to read as a palate cleanser. I read Somebody's Wife by Robbie Renee, and I enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed that one. But again, like, no, I remember that book. When that Ezekiel Green, I remember that book, y'all. Ooh, spicy. This one, I'm just not going to remember it, but I still recommend it, because obviously from my review at the time, I had a good time. So I don't really have a lot to say about that book, unfortunately, just because I don't have any real strong opinions, because it just wasn't memorable for me. Right now, I did a TikTok and a short asking you guys which book I should read. If I should read Jessa Hastings' new one, Time of Your Life, or if I should read This Side of Beautiful. And you guys chose this book. So I started this last night. This book is beautiful. Not the content. The physical book, y'all. The physical book is so pretty. Like, it's just so many like page breaks with like these graphics. And it's a beautiful book. And I can't wait to find out what's on these, because obviously she's going to have like a confession. Like, this is a beautiful book, and I think I'm gonna love this book just because it's pretty. But it's following a star. I think she was a singer, and I feel like I missed that part, because I'm only this much in, y'all. I'm literally on chapter 5, and she spiraled out of control, and drugs, you know, sex, just all the scandals, all the tabloids or whatever. So she fell off the face of the earth. So she's making a comeback now, doing like a tour, and she's sober now. She's touring with another band, and Landon is in this band, and she knew Landon from like back in the day or whatever. So she's trying to revamp herself. She's changed her stage name. She's done all these things, and obviously a relationship is going to form between them. But this is definitely going to dive into the world of like addiction, trauma, things like that. It seems like it's going to be a good story. I tried to listen to a little bit of this, but I don't like the narrators at all. So I'm going to listen when I like feel like I have to listen, because this baby is kind of thick. This book is almost 500 pages, and I had no idea when I picked it up. I should have not had this as my choices. Yeah, this book is 450. It's like 440 some pages. So like when I'm moving and grooving around here today, I'm gonna definitely listen to a little bit, but I'm just not a fan of, it's more the male main character. I'm not a fan of the narrators, but I'm probably just gonna suck it up and listen because I have it on Audible anyway. But a good chunk of this I kind of just want to sit and read. It's only the 27th today, so I'm probably gonna read this all the way until the end of the month. That's why I'm like talking about it now, because it'll probably be my 8th book of August. But I just want to let you guys know that I was reading this and I'm enjoying it so far. All right, y'all. So these are the books that I read in August. I hope from my mediocre reviews that you guys still pick something up out of this stack. Like I said, a lot of these are really just like palette cleansers, but I'm just not used to having a month full of palette cleansers. I'm used to having some bangers, y'all, and pray for me that September will give me those bangers. So as always, thank y'all for hanging out. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I will see you guys next Sunday.